stopping in for the courts.
All right, we're close enough. All right, everybody, start with the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, folks. This is our June 12th Selectmen's meeting. And we have no appointments tonight, so I'm going to go right into unscheduled matters, public comment number 1. Anybody have any comments? All right, we'll get right into it. Bids for replacement of the telephone system. You got those?
So we put out the RFP for phone system. I specifically asked for like a digital system and not a voice over IP system. 6 companies bid. I think you have the bid tab list in front of you. I called them all and got a little bit more information about maintenance agreements and things like that. One of the companies did not stay with the RFP request and bid a voice over IP system, and that's the company we currently have. And then the least expensive digital system that I requested was the company that had last year put in the digital system over the PD. So I met with those 2 people because I really wanted to pick their brain, and I went into those meetings with an open mind, trying to decide what was the best thing, because voice over IP is probably the up and coming technology, but my dream someday is to tie the buildings together perhaps with fiber or something. And so the digital system that the PD has is attractive because then at least the PD and I would be on comparable systems and we could perhaps tie the buildings together. That system is upgradable to voice over IP. So at the end of the day, my recommendation is that we go with Howard Systems from Rochester, New Hampshire, with a system that's similar to what they just put in the police department last year. John gave them a good recommendation. I met with Everett Howard. I also, again, I met with the representative from the company that we've had in this building for what, 20 years? 20 some odd years, because they already know our system. They wired most of the building. There would be some advantage to keep having them and keeping them, but to do that, they specifically bid voice over IP when I asked them not to, and we would have to refuse all the bids and start all over again and give everybody that opportunity. So after very careful consideration, my recommendation is that we go with Howard Systems, and it's within the budgeted amount that we budgeted last year.
I think that's a awesome
And I have all the bids
suggestion,
here.
because that way you can just deal with one system. You guys have any
No,
comments
sounds
about
good
that?
to me.
No, I know she's done her
Entertain a
research,
motion.
so no, I'll entertain the motion. Move
Make a
forward.
motion.
Yep.
All right.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
To award it to Howard Systems, and do you have a
It's
figure there?
5742,
5742.
and you authorized me to sign whatever I need to sign.
No, that's good. I know you did your research.
Yeah, good, that's great.
And I'm gonna give them a call. They thought they could get it done in the next month or so. We're continuing to experience technical difficulties
So
with it.
that includes all new phones too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And he said there is a way to
Voicemail
make
from
you
me?
a virtual voicemail. Do
There you
either of the other of you 2 want a virtual voicemail box?
You can call in, when you punch in the number and you can get to your voicemail. I think it's helpful, that way the
I don't care.
town has some avenue to get to us,
Get Kenny one so I can call her.
Okay.
Kenny?
I'd just be afraid I wouldn't check it enough.
Okay.
Yeah, me too, but I guess
And
if I
if they
get
had that
reminded.
false feeling if they left me a voicemail,
Yeah,
Well, how else are they gonna get a hold of you?
email.
Email, yeah, you
My
can do that
people.
too, but what if you don't respond to that?
Well, you come in and tell either one of these 2 I'm getting a call in 2 minutes, if it's
The
important.
next sound you hear is them asking to be on the agenda.
Yeah.
I don't care, if anybody wants to
Well,
call.
when it
they
gets
can-
down to the drop dead date, I'll ask you all
It's
again.
not gonna
But
be-
I mean,
we'll
phone
definitely
number
get one
Oh,
for
yeah,
you.
It's part of the
rings
system,
stayed
so it's
late.
not any additional cost.
Yeah,
Or you can leave a message on it saying.
I like the
if you
thought
wish to get-
process of it.
If you wish to get a hold of me, email me at.
yeah, or call or whatever, yeah, no, I like
We did
the
that in
idea of it,
past. Just give them a number to call.
yeah, I like the idea of it.
All right, very good, thank you. Groundwater monitoring.
So the next thing is the groundwater monitoring, and I have to preface this with a little bit of an apology up front because I did not realize how much this was gonna come back at. We are required by our closure documents to have our groundwater monitored at the closed landfill in April of every year. So we didn't get our permit until April, and both of the companies I asked to give me a quote on this wanted to see the permit. So when the permit came in towards the end of April, I sent it to both of these companies. One is the company that did it for us last year, HEB Engineering, and the other one is a gentleman who had approached us and was interested in it. So I thought it was gonna come back at less than $5,000, and hydrogeochemical may be less than $5,000. I think he prefaces it by saying that if he has to do something extra, it would go over the 5,000. So it's 4927, which is pretty darn close. And if he has to do additional wells, because there's 2 private wells out there that may require, it would put it up to 54, 52. So again, I didn't put it out for a formal bid process because I did not think it was gonna be over $5,000 because in the past it has not necessarily been that.
This one's 13,000?
Well, and that's if they do a lot of extra work too. And if there's, I think they were giving us more of a worst case scenario because there could be more wells. I mean, this could run up closer to that as well. Which is why, I have to apologize up front because I would have put it out for a formal bid. I probably will do that next year earlier. But my recommendation right now is that we give hydrogeochemical a chance and see what he can do for the 49.
I can't imagine there being that many people out there that does it to begin with.
It's a pretty specialized thing. We used Robert Saunders in the past, but he would not return our calls. And that's why we wound up past due, and we had to stop using him last year. He never returned our calls, we were late, he didn't file the appropriate paperwork, and I don't believe he's in business anymore, I don't.
So right now, we stand at 4927, which we can make that decision without it, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I will keep you updated as they update me. When they get those samples back, if they have to do those 2 wells, that'll be an add-on and
What's the past been like? I mean, I know we've always done it, but I haven't really looked into it. I mean, are we in good shape, standards
so far,
there?
we have been, but there's new PFASs. If you
Yeah.
read about that stuff with the,
Yeah.
what are the polyfluoral chemical things that they're finding in the groundwater, like down in Londonderry, Merrimack.
Yeah.
So now there's
Please.
stricter regulations, and so if you find those things, then you have to go out farther and test more wells. So, our permitting, and I'm also gonna ask this company to appeal our permit to move our testing from April to June, because I think our area is just too wet in April. It's
Yes.
not really doable, it's not reasonable to go out slogging around in there. So we can get an amendment to our permit and make it June, and that works better, with town meeting and all the things we're doing in March and April.
Does this ever come to an end, or is it always
No.
something you have to do forever
I think
because of
it's
the town
25
having
years
the?
after you close, and with the testing requirements just getting more and more, I think we'll be testing for a long time. And this gets paid for out of the capital reserve fund for the landfill closure, so it's not budgeted money, it comes out of the capital, well, it is budgeted money, it's not free, but it comes out of that capital reserve
Yeah,
fund.
So-
there's enough in there, there's quite a bit.
Yeah, so I guess I'll make a motion for Kelly to
Sign,
and go with the
geochemical,
geochemical.
I'll second that.
I'll go along with that too. All those
Okay.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, definitely request that, because we used to have a problem down at the room testing in the early months.
Testing
The
June.
rainwater's definitely caused issues with monitoring wells.
Yeah, he said he could just make that request,
Mhm.
and they'll amend the permit to that, and then I won't be in trouble for being late every year.
All right, beautiful.
It's a lot of information they give you. I mean, my goodness, they got a lot of stuff
Pretty
there.
confusing.
Oh, I can see it.
And I can't say any of the words of the chemicals they're looking for, so that doesn't make it.
You said PFAS, which was pretty impressive to me.
I'm good with initials.
All right, so we got that then. New business, Certificate of Municipalities Heritage Commission CLG grant agreement.
So you and Charlie were not here, I think Ken was, so
Right.
you went to the Heritage Commission meeting, so if you
Yeah.
want to give Charlie an
It's
update.
basically a grant that they've been awarded that allows them to, they actually go and almost like x-ray the property of the turntable park. And it's a process where when they do this, they can actually locate where older buildings were at one time.
Yep.
Because they have a project that they're trying to move a freight house, that they're proposing getting a freight house back where it was in that property.
Yep.
But it also map out all this other stuff that was there before too. And the well, there's a well out there, and locate that, I know where it is, but it's got
Yep.
crystal clear water in it, but
Yep.
it's just a mapping area. They came to the selectmen approval before we were on to get the approval to apply for the grant. They got it awarded, so
So what do
it's
we
basically
gotta
just
do for
needs
the
our
grant?
signature saying that we,
So
Update.
the
we-
first piece you need to do is the certificate for municipalities.
Right.
That is you saying who is going to sign for you. So you need to say whether it's gonna be the chairman of the board of selectmen that's gonna sign all the grant paperwork, or the town administrator. It could also be the chairman of the Heritage Commission, but with her being gone 6 months, I would recommend me
One of you two.
Yep.
or Mark be the, and then, once you vote that, then that has to be done first, and they have to see that in the minutes, and then, you have to vote to sign it, or authorize, whoever you just authorized to sign the grant agreement.
So my question is, without having to study this long document,
there's no.
I mean, there's no, how
is
does
just
that
a-
happen? That's
it's
what
just-
kills me. I don't understand, how do you get free money?
They, it's out there and they applied for it and got it, and this isn't anything that you have to maintain or anything like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I mean, there's no strings to this
is
at
a
all.
one-shot deal.
They just,
So this is through the Division of Historical Resources, and basically what they're doing is an archaeological dig out there.
yeah, I was reading that little bit
Dig
of it,
a
yep,
study,
yep.
again, because they want the freight house in a certain place, but they don't want it placed over other historical.
Yeah, and that,
So
what
that's
they
gonna
do
give 'em-
locates all that, that's
Yeah,
pretty
even
good how they can do
even
that.
if they don't,
Mm.
even if they don't, move the freight house over there, it allows them to put like little plaques and
Yeah,
like
map it out.
pictures out there
Yeah.
saying this is what's.
Oh, I'm all about it, I mean,
Yeah.
by all means, I just can't understand how we get free money, you know?
Oh, nothing's free, because nothing is free.
I know,
So this grant is for $18,500. I guess if you guys could make a motion and authorize who you want to be the signor on the,
I don't care.
If you don't have a problem with it, I know
We'll
you
just
guys
vote
are
it.
nice full with other ones, but
I
I
think-
can do it just.
I think it's
notify me
probably
that-
better to be me because I'm there all the, if
Yeah.
you guys are okay with it, and I'll
Yeah.
just shoot you off an email if I sign something new. If we have to have public hearings, obviously they have to come back here, but
Right.
I'm sitting in there usually Monday through Friday, so it's kinda easier if you're okay with authorizing me.
So I'll make a motion to authorize Kelly to sign
Second.
anything with this historical, whatever,
The
you
grant.
might, grant money,
Can you
this
second
free
it?
money
Yeah.
that comes around.
It's not free money. It all comes out of our tax. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Cool.
we have, no bid awards for, Crown Vic, do we?
We didn't get
You-
anybody,
you got
Sign
the
it
original.
all.
nobody put in for it.
So you can then just
Yeah.
sign all this, okay, cool.
I think we might give it to Mr. Fenton.
For what?
Take home cap.
The Crown Vic, we don't have any bids for
You
that?
can't tell me the Crown Vic
No.
wouldn't be a memorabilia.
I think John said it's in pretty bad shape, it's been sitting out there a long time. He said that if nobody took it and you guys were okay with it, he might ask you to let him give it to one of those places that gives you $350 for the junk parts,
Oh, cars for kids or something like that.
money for metals, I don't know.
Bring it to Landis, leave it on
Do
the
we
scale.
have- I don't know
Well,
how
I
much
don't
money you
know
wanna
how
spend
much advertising, I mean,
Yeah.
to bid on something like that, I mean, it'd be pretty cheap score, I can imagine, so I don't know how the bidding thing went. I mean, did you put it out where it was on something? I
It was
don't
on the
know.
website, it was advertised
don't-
like all
I
the
don't
rest of our
recall it.
bid stuff. I mean, they bid on the old six-wheel trucks,
Yeah,
and
the
they were,
trucks.
Yeah,
we got
I just
some
can't
money.
imagine it's a very fuel efficient car, for the sake of little Crown Vics.
Yeah.
I don't drink it up.
Yeah, no, I don't care what you wanna do with it. It's gotta go somewhere, so.
I know.
Call, have John do some research, call and see what he can get from it, from Lambert's or whatever.
Yeah,
Give it to
Lambert's
Brock.
should-
Brock will find a,
Yep.
make gold out of it somehow.
You're okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so moving on to, capital reserve expenditure.
So, we have one on the agenda and one extra one that we forgot to put on. So the first one is is $51 for the advertisement for the RFP for the concrete pads. And then the second one is, I believe, a partial payment for the actual pouring of the concrete.
Get this first, I
Yeah,
saw
I
this
saw
number
that.
and I said, that's a quarter pad.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was buying the paper thing and everything
Yeah.
else, but. I'll make a motion to accept the $51 to pay for the ad, to move the $51.
Yeah, we got
Second.
that one, 'cause, that's in the warrant, though, isn't it? The warrant,
You still have, it has to be
Award it.
agenda and approved that
Yeah.
you move it out of the capital reserve fund.
Yeah,
Alright,
so we the first and the second.
Alright. All those in favor?
Aye.
So that's half. So this is a partial payment.
Right, I need a motion for the partial payment of.
I'll make that.
4,620.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. Move along here. We have correspondence.
So you've got Kayla Kirkwood's resignation from the Parks and Rec Department.
Make a motion to accept with regrets.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you,
You won't have to sign it.
you have to sign it. I think it was in your packets, just as a copy.
ERA.
So you got a letter about the cyclical review, or cyclical reval. It's just an informational thing.
So from what I was reading from that, coefficiency of disbursement is in line. Before we were at 86, and the reval, we're now at 101.
So that's not the coefficient of dispersion. That's your actual assessed value. That's your
But it's
equalization.
within-
That's your
it's within their
equalization.
parameters, though.
Right, that's your equalization ratio. Your
Right.
coefficient of dispersion, has to be under 10 generally, and that is, coefficient of dispersion is the stratification of different levels of property. So
Right.
land only, mobile home, manufactured housing, single-family homes, multifamily homes, commercial, that, how that stratifies and making sure that those are all within that 100% as well. And so that the COD needs to be under 10, and, I'm not sure that the letter actually gives us what our COD is.
Yeah, it did. It's in there. We were at 86 point, what was it?
8.38 is what our, so our equalization ratio went from the 90s to 101%. And then our COD is at 8.38.
Which is good.
Yeah.
At the plan.
Yeah, because it's under 10, that's what you want.
And just for the
Secretary.
public's information, that's something that fluctuates with sales and a lot of upset when their valuations go up, but it's what's out there. It is what it is. Nothing we can do about it, state mandates.
Yep.
Okay. What else do you got for correspondence?
So we were notified by New Hampshire DES that Nathan Fogg had applied for a flight relicensure, and it's been denied. And I just wanted you guys to have a copy of that.
Okay.
And then Charter Communications is changing their HBO subscription. I kind of just feel like always saying again.
Yeah, it's whatever. That's an ongoing thing. Jim, can you go up there and fight over them?
Now listen to me.
New Hampshire the Beautiful Grant Award. We were awarded $5,000 grants for the purchase and refurbish a bale from Atlantic Recycling.
Yeah, Joe and Brock and I guess, mostly Joe, applied for a grant end of last year. And so it helps defray the cost. Right now we're taking a reserve fund for the transfer station facility, so that's $5,000 that we will have. And probably what will do is I don't think that they will pay Atlantic directly because we are the grantee and they have to prove that they gave the grant to the grantee. But probably what I'll do is next year I'll do a warrant article to put that $5,000 back into that capital reserve fund because it kind of offsets that cost. And
Right. How's that going?
Good, we're good. We'll be pulling the patch Tuesday. Electric is still in there doing all that work. We're looking at 25th of June for how we switch over. So, we still got a couple of things we're working on, trying to see how the project. Steel house, 2 shafts. Those are things we're working on right now.
Just for everybody's information, it's Joe.
Joe Ward.
Joe Gore, yeah. Sorry, Johnny. It's our transfer station facilities manager. All right. Been scoring on the grants here. We've been busy. Northeast Recovery Resource Recovery Association. They're thanking us for our membership. We're reminded that we are welcome to attend their monthly meetings. And I don't believe I'm going to be able to, so if anyone of you guys want to jump in there, go for it.
Well, it looks like they've addressed it to me.
Yeah.
Mr. Edwards, thank you for making all our annual meetings. That's what it says.
Very good. All right, that brings us to unscheduled matters, public comment number 2. Any comments from the public? Good. Everybody got balloons on their mind or something? There's nobody here except for Joe Moore. And I've done part of the meeting.
The planning board meeting, they asked me to talk, and then when I started talking, I said, you can sit down now.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go right into our administrative matters, administrator's update.
So I'm requesting some time off next week, a week in August, and a day in July, which I need to get permission from you guys for.
You got your earned time?
I do have my
Okay.
I'm trying to use it up before December 31st because I don't want to use it or lose it.
Okay.
So it's next week, it's 40 hours.
So you're taking the whole week off?
I am.
Okay.
And
Poor Tony.
there's one day Michelle is not going to be able to be there, and Tony offered to come in, so either I'm going to come in one day on my vacation, or I'm going to have Tony in. Probably the latter.
You okay with that?
Absolutely.
All right.
She offered, I would not make her
Okay.
do that.
All right.
And so the office is always covered. It'll be Michelle and Barbara on Tuesday, and then for me on Thursday, and the other days Michelle is here. And Tony too.
Well, if you've earned it, you earned it. I just took a week.
Yeah, how was your vacation?
Oh, it weren't long enough.
Was it Cancun or Aruba?
Uber.
Was it hot?
No, it was hot, but it was just
Dry.
breezy. Oh, the breeze, always breeze. It was, you can,
Oh, man.
Always
Gentle
a breeze.
trade wind, where you gotta put your drink in a
Yeah.
cup holder. so
Yeah.
it doesn't-
Constant. yeah, it's a constant, I didn't realize it was that way, but,
So the next thing I have is the representation letter for the audit. So they've completed our audit and provided me with draft documents. They won't make them official, formal, and print everything out and send it to us until you sign a representation letter. Michelle has to sign it as well, as the finance clerk, and you're just basically attesting that we've made these, records and documents available to them, that we did not withhold any information, and it requires the chairman of the board of selectmen. I don't know if you've seen those before, but. And once I get the formal doc, if you wanna review the drafts, I can scan them and send them to all of you. It's a little dry.
I'm all set.
Our unassigned fund balance that will be available for reducing taxes is 1.7 million,
That's awesome.
so we're in pretty good shape.
Yep.
There's also a management letter, which I'll share with you guys once the formal documents come down. There was only one minor thing with regard to payroll records, and we've already audited ourselves and rectified it, so
So we're good to go.
it was a pretty good audit.
I need a motion to authorize me to sign this.
You got it.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Do you want the draft documents emailed to you?
Yeah.
Or you want to see them there? Yep. I wanted to give you an update on the L-chip window project. So all the windows are in. Have you noticed the beautiful front doors?
Yes, I noticed the beautiful front door. It looks
They did a
awesome.
really nice job on them. So now I have to just wrap up the project. There's a few reports, some stewardship stuff that I have to do, and somebody from L-chip will be up here Friday to just review the final project. I have to have digital pictures taken and do a stewardship report, so I'll be working on that when I come back from vacation. They did a really nice job. So about 2/3 of our windows are done,
Yeah.
so there's probably another $50,000 worth of windows to do. I think I might take a year off from doing windows and see what other grants are available, but if we do a good job on the reporting out, we could probably apply for an L-chip grant again, so that's where we are with that project.
Windows make a big difference in the wintertime.
Well, you can improve it by me, I can feel the wind blowing through there. They're historically correct, but they're pretty chilly. That's the window project. The other thing I had is ambulance billing write-offs. So I have some here somewhere. So I had 3 ambulance bills. I got a call from a patient's daughter that the patient is deceased with no estate, and then I had 2 letters returned as undeliverable or no receptacle. So there's 3 bills here. Did you guys need anything about names that I would like you to vote to allow me to write off? And the total right now is tracking about $16,000. But I have a couple people on a payment plan, and they've been paying regularly, so with these write-offs, it'll bring it down to about 12.
You want these signed?
No, you just
No,
make a
it's just-
motion to allow it. You guys are the only ones that can abate any kind of bills.
I'll make a motion for our town administrator to still conduct the ondoings of whatever she feels is necessary.
It's a
This,
total of $3,240.
is that what it is? And that's fine.
You all set with that?
Yep.
All right. All's in favor?
Aye.
And then I had one other thing, I forgot to ask you when you were talking about the DRHR grant for the archaeological. Pam Wigan, who's the chairman of the Heritage Commission, asked if you would waive the bid requirement for the $18,500 project. She told me that when they got the proposed amount for the grant, they contacted 2 archaeological companies that do this kind of work, and only one expressed interest, and that's where they got the price from. So rather than putting out an RFP for the same thing, putting it out to bid, waiting all that time, she asked if you would waive your purchasing policy for this purpose, because there really is only one company that was interested.
That's written in our purchasing policy too. There's no other companies to
Yeah.
solicit that we can.
It's up to you, I don't care.
All
I'm good
right,
with
I'll make that motion.
Second, unless Kim,
Can we get a second? All in favor?
aye.
Sorry, you got to ask me that. That's all I have.
Yeah, while we're on that too, can we talk to the website coordinator and have their website put on our website?
The Heritage Commissions?
Yeah, there's no link to their website
Yep.
on ours. Actually, that page needs to be updated. All right, treasurer's monthly report, a total of $91,723.64 for the payroll warrant. Make a motion to accept that figure.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we have, tax collectors.
You have the accounts payable too.
Yeah. What's the number on that one, Charlie?
Which one? This one here on top?
66,000.
$866,105.96.
Can I make a motion to that effect?
Make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
What is the? What's the one that jumped out at me? Feels big number.
What is the credit card?
Yeah. Is it townwide credit card?
There's 5 departments that have credit cards: police, fire,
Okay.
Parks and Rec, our
That's-
office.
Well, that's what I thought. I
You
just-
sign them out,
Yeah.
and then we have to have the bills with each credit card.
Receipts, yeah.
We pay it off every month, we don't carry any kind of interest or,
Yeah, okay. That's one that just jumped out at me. I thought it was probably.
yeah, it's probably a big time, cause, I think Wayne is, right now Wayne is paying for his trips. Like, they go to Storyland or Celtics games, or, you know, he's paying for his tickets and his trips right now on the credit card. And so, usually in maybe April and May, or May and June, we have a pretty big, as a matter of fact, wasn't it last year that we increased? Last year, we had to increase the credit limit because somebody, it wasn't Wayne, but somebody called after Wayne had booked his
Right.
trips and our card got denied, and it's kind of embarrassing. So we increased the
He's
credit
getting a
limit
lot
last
flagged
year.
on us.
Yeah.
All of the receipts though should be attached to the payments in there.
Yeah, I just, I'll take it.
Yeah, and this week was the school payment, so that's $649,000. It's a big one.
Yeah, that's for sure. I was lost it. All right.
You did skip over the treasurer's report and the tax collector and that. I appreciate it.
All right, we got the tax collectors, comparison for May attached. Any chance to look at that?
Yep. Yep.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
And Treasurer's monthly report.
Yep, treasurer's monthly report. First May. You'll take a motion for this one? permits, we got 3 this week.
Mr. Dodia.
Yep, for 228 DeBoer Lane.
I'll make a motion to accept Mr. Dodia's 2228 Debna Lane.
Second,
Never heard of that one.
DeBoer.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And
I'll make a motion to accept Costa Company
that's
in Robin Hood Road.
tax map 45, lot 83. Need a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to accept Daniel Webster Jr. I don't see Cherry Hill Drive.
That's tax map 184, lot 33. Yeah, I'll second that one. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, this is easy.
He's struggling.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
All right, payment manifest. That's what I jumped.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Good job.
Minutes. We get a chance to look at minutes.
Yep.
Yep, they all look good. I'll make a motion to accept them all.
And that would be the minutes of
Minutes for
3rd,
June 3rd
May 22nd,
and May 22nd.
and revised non-public May 8th.
Yep.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded it? I didn't.
I made the motion, he's
Yeah,
the second.
Ken did. You also have sealed minutes of May 22nd, sessions 1, 6, and 8.
I'll make a motion to accept Tony's May 22nd minutes.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye. Awesome.
It's background payment. Tally of those.
Good.
What's that?
The entertainment.
That's right.
Use that.
Holy mackerel.
Are you thinking that signature stamp yet?
I gotta get just 2 letters.
Is that, are you?
Goes a lot faster, doesn't it?
Okay,
You could actually have an axe. Let's see.
Selectmen's work session.
Selectmen's work session. I always brought up one thing. about
Yeah, I'd like to,
the website
uh,
there.
I will tell you that I've done a lot of research on bridges, and I should be bringing something to us possibly the next meeting. I'm just waiting for a few proposals and schematic sheets and a few designs, and then I'll bring it to us maybe with Mr. Miller's help, I can do a little picture thing that we can do, and I should have some good answers for you on the next meeting.
Very good.
Do you want me to agenda it, or do you wanna wait and see?
I just
if
want
you
to wait till I
get-
get it. I was called today and said that it's on their desk and they're about to finish it up. So the engineers are sending me, and it's just basically, it's proposals and some drawings and things so that we can see which direction we want to go.
Okay.
It's all good.
Just let us know, and
Yep.
we'll put it on the agenda.
All right, I'd like to thank Mr. Miller for his time spent out at the Boston Post Kane, being there. I haven't had a chance to thank you publicly.
That was awesome. I thought it was a very good video and you looked good there. You did a good job.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. And all the people that come out and do the videos, it's great. You know, the public does watch them now. They're very well informed.
They do.
I
When you look
appreciate
at the views, there's a lot of views. Yeah, yeah. 500, 600 on the whack, that's pretty good.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?